Transverse Screed Setup Video 4, Dry Run Setup. This is the fourth video in this series. The videos should be watched in order and the procedures shown should be performed in the same order. In the previous video we determined the distance from the carriage rail down to the finishing edge of the drums, or C. This distance does not change as long as the lift cylinder is always in the fully down position. Therefore we can use the distance down from the carriage rail to check our dry run. The carriage should always be adjacent to the point you are measuring down from, so the screed is properly deflected, as it will be in the pour. As shown in this diagram, we will call the distance from the carriage rail to the drums C for constant. Other important distances are D, the deck thickness, and B, the buildup. At any given point on the deck, we should be able to measure down C plus D from the carriage rail to find the bottom of the slab, since neither C or the deck thickness, D, changes. The only variable in these three numbers is B, or the buildup. We will now see how to construct a stick to directly measure the three things on a dry run: deck thickness, rebar cover, and buildup. First, we need to print out one of the 100th rule PDF sheets in the construction manual. You will notice there is an ascending and a descending scale and a combination scale on each sheet. Be sure to print the designated paper size and use actual size or no scaling to ensure the scale is correct. Also check the scale with a rule to be sure that it is correct. In most situations, the combination scale will work. If the buildups are excessive, the other scales can be used in combination. The wide edge of a chamfer strip is 1 inch. You'll notice that each of the scales is less than 1 inch, so they can be trimmed to fit on the wide edge of a piece of chamfer strip. On a length of chamfer strip, measure up from the bottom C plus D. In our example, C, or the constant, was 4.22 feet, and D, or the deck thickness, was 0.69 feet, giving us a distance of 4.91 feet. At this point, make a mark on the stick. This mark is where we will set 0 on the scale. Now cut out the section of scale that you're going to use for your strip. In our example, the deck thickness was 0.69 feet, and the minimum steel cover was 2.5 inches, or 21/100ths of a foot. Subtracting these, we get a distance from the bottom of the deck to the top of the steel of 0.48 feet. We'll make a mark 48/100ths down from the 0 on the descending part of the strip. The scale will now be taped onto the stick and 0 aligned with our 0 mark. A strip of wide clear packing tape can be used for this and will also provide some protection for the scale. With construction of the stick complete, we can check the three measurements we started out for. Remember to have the carriage adjacent to the point you are checking at all times. Placing the bottom of the stick on the deck pans at any point, you should measure 0 at the carriage rail. There will be minor variations due to the decking being welded on improperly, but they should be insignificant. Placing the stick on top of the rebar at any point on the deck, measuring to the carriage rail, you should hit the mark you placed at 48/100ths below 0. Here we will assume the bottom of the decking is equal to the top of the beam. When you measure up from the top of the beam at any buildup point to the carriage rail, you should directly read the buildup. In this case, the buildup should be 20/100ths for this point. Now the machine must be set to grade. To do this, the carriage should be moved adjacent to one of the exterior girders at the 0/10th point. The two legs on this side of the truss will then be raised or lowered until the proper grade is established. This can be done by directly reading the required buildup on our stick. If the reading is too low, both legs are equally raised until the proper buildup is read. If the reading is too high, the legs are lowered. This is done on both exterior girders, after which the screed should be set to grade and ready for the dry run.